Shalom, ah.
Oh my brother. I was taking a little while, man. I was trying to get this thing onto the laptop so I can be hands free without the phone, and I done forgot the password to get in.
All right.
Yeah.
Need some more time?
You know,
To play
let me
another
see here.
song.
Yeah, play a song real quick. Let me see if I can get this thing right. Hold on, I'm gonna have to mute real quick and figure this out.
Hold on, no. Let's get another one on there. I like that one. They all so good. Hold on. Let's put my Octa Serve on there. Octa Serve got some cuts. Shout out to Ty Serve, Tassel Gang. Shout out to my brother Ty Serve, the Watchman.
Excuse me, Mr. Pastor. Please don't put me upstairs. I'm looking for the lost sheep. I'm tired of the treasure. Excuse me, Mr. Pastor. Please don't put me upstairs. I'm teaching no teaching truth. On the inside, they are in a deep search, trying to figure how they got back into their work. Not all the bitches set apart at the core. They tired of tradition and they seeking out more. Excuse me. Testify for a moment on how the Father has saved me, or how He will. If I endure to the end, yes, I receive atonement for all of my sins. Yes, keep this. His theology is His weakness. When it was my turn, I'm thinking, how could I preach this? They reach a different Christ than the one that I'm reading. You say you are like Christ when you everyday sin. You go against things established from the beginning. Christ never ate pork. He never broke a Sabbath. He kept the feast days while you laughing His commandments. Yeah, you give a tithe. However, Christmas is something in the law that was given for Levitical. You say you can't keep it. Peter say it's not grieving. Nothing done away with, but the sacrifice needed. That's the freedom by grace. Still, we all have to give you that. Excuse me, Mr. Pastor. Please don't put me outside. I'm looking for the lost sheep. I'm tired of the treasure. Excuse me, Mr. Pastor. Please don't put me outside. I'm thinking of people too. Catholicism, Protestantism.
All right. You want to go check that out? That's that Ty Serve. Excuse me, Mr. Pastor. That was that Emanon before that. And my Travis Snipes. My Travis Snipes got one of the longest awaited albums in truth music right now. Need to come on out with that thing, man. Don't hold it. Let it go. Let it go. Well, my brother, that Southern Kingdom of Para. Me personally, myself,
Yeah. Oh.
I got on that Nona Star Yehuda style. My bad, Yehuda style. My sister gave me some of the game on t-shirts as well. You know, got to give credit where it's due. Shout out to my sister Nona Star and her Ish, Elishua. Shout out to them out in North Carolina doing their thing. But yeah, man, we are back. 67 podcasts. What's going on, man? Kind of freezing up a little bit over there.
Yeah, it's freezing up, man. I don't know why I keep freezing up like that, man. It's just I wanted to get, like I said, I wanted to get it on the and I wasn't able to do it because I was trying to get some help to get the code and I couldn't get in. And got to resort to this thing on his phone, man.
Okay. Well, can you see me
But I can hear
good?
you better now. It seems like. Yeah, I can see you good. Plus, I can hear you now. I put it on I put it on Wi-Fi mode, man. So now it seems like it's coming in better without all that computerized sounding.
Okay. Well, um, what we're gonna be talking about today is the Essenes. I don't know a lot about the people. I had heard them. I was watching a video about the Crusades or whatever. About the what's them dudes? They had an army in the Crusades. It was like a a secret group of soldiers or whatever.
Templars, the Knight Templars.
The Knights Templars. It was talking about them, and then just about mystery concerning the scriptures and the Catholic Church and all that. And then in that, they spoke on the Essenes and how the Essenes was kind of secretive and it was a special group of people or whatever. So I looked them up and I came across this video where apparently Josephus, the same one that wrote about the wars of the Jews, that told us about what it was like at the fall of the temple and all that. In his other book before that, in the Wars of the Jews, he spoke about the Essenes. I was unaware until I found the video, and it was quoting Josephus's book. So we can get right on into that thing. Go to the Chrome tab. Flavius Josephus.
Chapters 8 and
Hold
9
on.
of the Wars of the Jews.
Hold
This
on.
is a
Hold on,
LibriVox record.
Real quick, LibriVox. All right, we're in there. He's here.
I'm here. Yeah, I can see it. 3 Jewish texts in times of.
Now, if you'd like to speak on something you hear, let me know. Pause the video, talk about what was said, and then move forward. Cause it's a lot of spots I'm gonna want to stop, talk about it. So
Right, and for the listeners, my aunt told me he went over this and seen some things, and he invited me and wanted me to come in and go over this and see this and watch it together and speak on these things and these sins, man. I don't know how familiar I may be with these sins and stuff, but they was a strict group that they believed in Mashiach, right?
yes, they were. Apparently, even Josephus believed in Hamashiach because he said, "Our Lord and Savior."
Okay, good. Yeah, they believed. They believed in Mashiach, and they all had everything in common, like how the disciples and the Talmudim did in the Book of Acts.
Absolutely.
They had a group off to themselves. They had a specific place. Last time I heard, I believe it was like a mountain or some kind of little place that they had that was sectioned off from everybody else, where they came together and they did their thing and they lived the thing. And some would probably call them extremists. But we're about to get into it and expound on it, and may y'all bring forth full edification. Before we get started, though, let us start with a tefillah, man, supplicating to the Abba to bring forth every point and everything that need to be brought out for edification purposes for the people that's listening, as we sit here, and dialogue on these things and commune. So you want to go? You want to lead us out in prayer, or how you want to do it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Kodash Abba, we thank you for your many gifts that you have given us, and we ask that you continue to lead us and to guide us and protect us and show us the errors of our ways, that we might repent, Father. And we ask today that in the viewing of this video and the speaking upon your word and upon righteous things, that you guide our hearts and our minds and allow us to sound speech, to speak forth knowledge to the people, and that our words go forth and impart wisdom and truth and understanding. And we just ask to be lights in the darkness, and strong towers to the weak, to the fearful, to the oppressed. And we ask all these things in your Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, we pray. So be it.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So I will have your way by your great Ruach HaKodesh. Father, Yah, for your esteem and Yahushua Mashiach, utilize us as your vessels of honor, as your vessels of bringing forth your word for your esteem and your purpose. Hallelujah. Let's get it.
Hallelujah. All right, here we go. Let's see, play on that thing.
All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. Chapter 8. The Three Sects. For there are three philosophical sects among the Jews. The followers of the first of which are the Pharisees, of the second the Sadducees, and the third sect, which pretends to a severer discipline, are called Essenes. These last are Jews by birth.
See, now right there, they listen. Sparks went off in my mind. You can't just let that fly by you. Said it was three sects. It's the Pharisees, the Sadducees. Then he said this third group were Jews by birth.
Wow.
Did you hear
I heard that. I heard it now that you said that, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't hear what he said on that end.
that?
But I'm glad you stopped and brought that out, because I did not hear that. Now you got me listening attentively.
It was my understanding
Turn this
that
off.
a lot of these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This hierarchy in the temple, Pharisees and Sadducees were Edomites. You know, Edomites, or like they were like kin to Herod or something. And if you know anything about Herod, you know that Herod was supposedly half Edomite and half Jew. So let's kind of peel it back just a taste and hear that again.
For there are three philosophical sects among the Jews. The followers of the first of which are the Pharisees, of the second the Sadducees, and the third sect, which pretends to a severer discipline, are called Essenes. These last are Jews by birth, and seem to have a greater affection for one another than the other sects have. These Essenes reject pleasures as an evil, but esteem continence and the conquest over our passions to be virtue. They neglect wedlock, but choose out other persons' children while they are pliable and fit for learning, and esteem them to be of their kindred, and form them according to their own manners. They do not absolutely deny the fitness of marriage, and the succession of mankind thereby continued, but they guard against the lascivious behavior of women, and are persuaded that none of them preserve their fidelity to one man. These men are despisers of riches, and so very communicative as raises our admiration. Nor is there any one to be found among them who hath more than another, for it is a law among them that those who come to them must let what they have to be common to the whole order, insomuch that among them all there is no appearance of poverty or excess of riches, but everyone's possessions are intermingled with every other's possessions. And so there is, as it were, one patrimony among all the brethren. They think that oil is a defilement, and if any one of them be anointed without his own approbation, it is wiped off his body, for they think to be sweaty is a good thing, as they do also to be clothed in white garments. They also have stewards appointed to take care of their common affairs, who every one of them have no separate business for any, but what is for the uses of them all. They have no one certain city, but many of them dwell in every city. And if any of their sect come from other places, what they have lies open for them, just as if it were their own. And they go into such as they never knew before, as if they had been ever so long acquainted with them. For which reason they carry nothing at all with them when they travel into remote parts, though still they take their weapons with them, for fear of thieves. Accordingly, there is, in every city where they live, one appointed particularly to take care of strangers, and to provide garments and other necessaries for them. But the habit and management of their bodies is such as children use, or in fear of their masters. Nor do they allow of the change of garments or of shoes, till they be first torn to pieces, or worn out by time. Nor do they either buy or sell anything to one another.
Hey man,
Every one of
real
them
quick,
gives.
Yeah.
you know how many people would be opposed to that in itself? They ain't done explaining how extreme these people are.
Mm.
But when they go to talking about, man, they don't change their shoes until the first pair tear apart. It's just a different mindset, and it's like, what's wrong with it? Besides the fact of they value the fact that until it's absolutely necessary, they could take that money they would have spent and use it for something else, for
Ain't
something
nothing
better.
wrong with that. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. It don't sound like nothing wrong with that at all.
In the Western mindset, it is. In a
Right.
capitalistic mindset, it is.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue.
To him that wanteth it, and receives from him again in lieu of it what may be convenient for himself. And although there be no requital made, they are fully allowed to take what they want of whomsoever they please. And as for their piety towards God, it is very extraordinary. For before sunrising they speak not a word about profane matters, but put up certain prayers which they have received from their forefathers, as if they made a supplication for its rising. After this, every one of them are sent away by their curators, to exercise some of those arts wherein they are skilled, in which they labour with great diligence till the 5th hour. After which they assemble themselves together again into one place, and when they have clothed themselves in white veils, they then bathe their bodies in cold water. And after this purification is over, they every one meet together in an apartment of their own, into which it is not permitted to any of another sect to enter, while they go, after a pure manner, into the dining room, as into a certain holy temple, and quietly set themselves down. Upon which the baker lays them loaves in order. The cook also brings a single plate of one sort of food, and sets it before every one of them. But a priest says grace before meat, and it is unlawful for any one to taste of the food before grace be said. The same priest, when he hath dined, says grace again after meat. And when they begin and when they end, they praise God as he that bestows their food upon them. After which they lay aside their white garments, and betake themselves to their labours again till the evening. Then they return home to supper after the same manner. And if there be any strangers there, they sit down with them. Nor is there ever any clamour or disturbance to pollute their house, but they give every one leave to speak in their turn, which silence thus kept in their house appears to foreigners like some tremendous mystery, the cause of which is that perpetual sobriety they exercise, and the same settled measure of meat and drink that is allotted them, and that such as is abundantly sufficient for them. And truly, as for other things, they do nothing but according to the injunctions of their curators. Only these two things are done among them at every one's own free will, which are to assist those that want it, and to show mercy. For they are permitted of their own accord to afford succor to such as deserve it when they stand in need of it, and to bestow food on those that are in distress, but they cannot give anything to their kindred without the curators. They dispense their anger after a just manner, and restrain their passion. They are eminent for fidelity, and are the ministers of peace. Whatsoever they say also is firmer than an oath, but swearing is avoided by them, and they esteem it worse than perjury, or they say that he who cannot be believed without swearing by God is already condemned. Footnote: this practice of the Essenes, in refusing to swear and esteeming swearing in ordinary occasions worse than perjury, is delivered here in general words, as are the parallel injunctions of our Saviour, Matthew 6, verse 34, 23, verse 16, and of St. James 5, verse 12. But all admit of particular exceptions for solemn causes, and on great and necessary occasions. Thus these very Essenes, who here do so zealously avoid swearing, are related, in the very next section, to admit none till they take tremendous oaths to perform their several duties to God and to their neighbour, without supposing they thereby break this rule, not to swear at all. The case is the same in Christianity, as we learn from the apostolical constitutions, which, although they agree with Christ and St. James in forbidding to swear in general, yet do they explain it elsewhere by avoiding to swear falsely, and to swear often and in vain, and again by not swearing at all, but withal adding that, if that cannot be avoided, to swear truly, which abundantly explain to us the nature of the measures of this general injunction. End footnote. They also take great pains in studying the writings of the ancients, and choose out of them what is most for the advantage of their soul and body. And they inquire after such roots and medicinal stones as may cure their distempers. But now, if anyone have a mind to come over to their sect, he is not immediately admitted, but he is prescribed the same method of living which they use for a year, while he continues excluded. And they give him also a small hatchet, and the forementioned girdle, and the white garment. And when he hath given evidence during that time that he can observe their continence, he approaches nearer to their way of living, and is made a partaker of the waters of purification. Yet is he not even now admitted to live with them, for after this demonstration of his fortitude, his temper is tried 2 more years, and if he appear to be worthy, they then admit him into their society. And before he is allowed to touch their common food, he is obliged to take tremendous oaths that, in the first place, he will exercise piety towards God, and then that he will observe justice towards men, and that he will do no harm to anyone, either of his own accord or by the command of others, that he will always hate the wicked and be assistant to the righteous, that he will ever show fidelity to all men, and especially to those in authority, because no one obtains the government without God's assistance, and that if he be in authority...
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
From what you've heard about these people, has it been good or bad?
Prior to this video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't, me honestly, I haven't heard anything bad about the Essenes. Like, I mean, not even I just haven't heard anything bad about them, to be honest. Pharisees and Sadducees, yeah. And the scribes, yeah. We heard a gang of bad about them, but the Essenes never heard, you know? Yeah, that's it.
It's just always, you know, not really anything bad per se, but it's like whatever people don't have a great understanding for, they just kind of be like, you need to watch them, or you know what I'm saying? It's like Illuminati, secretive and all, kind of hush hush or whatever. That's all I ever heard. Like it's spoke about like and like a woe kind of a thing. Like, they made the Bible. They was some zealots. Okay, they was real about this thing. They wouldn't playing.
Mm.
You know, but to worldly people, that's they doing too much. They doing too much.
Right.
Nah, they just ain't nothing off the table as far as trying to do right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get from the video. Like, these people, they was all about it to the point of afflicting themselves to make sure they don't get of too high esteem in their own minds.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they lived and everything. It was checks and balances. Like,
More like a fence around them, the way of their discipline,
yeah,
to not be puffed up in pride or arrogance or haughty. Yeah, denying themselves of pleasures and things like that. Yeah, yeah.
He will at no time whatever abuse his authority, nor endeavour to outshine his subjects either in his garments or any other finery. That he will be perpetually a lover of truth, and propose to himself to reprove those that tell lies. That he will keep his hands clear from theft, and his soul from unlawful gains, and that he will neither conceal anything from those of his own sect, nor discover any of their doctrines to others, no, not though anyone should compel him so to do at the hazard of his life. Moreover, he swears to communicate their doctrines to no one any otherwise than as he received them himself, that he will abstain from robbery, and will equally preserve the books belonging to their sect, and the names of the angels or messengers. Footnote: this mention of the names of angels, so particularly preserved by the Essenes, if it means more than those messengers which were employed to bring them the peculiar books of their sect, looks like a prelude to that worshipping of angels blamed by St. Paul as superstitious and unlawful in some such sort of people as these Essenes were. Colossians 2, verse 8. As is the prayer to or towards the sun for his rising every morning, mentioned before, section 5, very like those not much later observances made mention of in the preaching of Peter, and regarding a kind of worship of angels, of the month, and of the moon, and not celebrating the new moons or other festivals unless the moon appeared, which indeed seems to me the earliest mention of any regard to the phases in fixing the Jewish calendar, of which the Talmud and later rabbis talk so much, and upon so very little ancient foundation. End footnote. These are the oaths by which they secure their proselytes to themselves. But for those that are caught in any heinous sins, they cast them out of their society, and he who is thus separated from them does often die after a miserable manner. For as he is bound by the oath he hath taken, and by the customs he hath been engaged in, he is not at liberty to partake of that food that he meets with elsewhere, but is forced to eat grass, and to famish his body with hunger, till he perish. For which reason they receive many of them again when they are at their last gasp, out of compassion to them, as thinking the miseries they have endured till they came to the very brink of death, to be a sufficient punishment for the sins they had been guilty of.
I want to throw some out here too for the people. I know they showing all these pictures of these heathens, but as we know, the Yahudim were not Caucasian people. Okay, these are people that look like us. Okay, Negroes in America. So in your mind, make these people black. I'm talking about these ain't heathens. Heathens ain't got it in them to live like this. Unless it be by the power and esteem of the Most High Yah to bring them to you know that kind of a mindset. But left up to nature, no, it's not gonna happen. Never. There we go. Just wanted to drop that on you.
Exercise. They are most accurate and just, nor do they pass sentence by the votes of a court that is fewer than 100. And as to what is once determined by that number, it is unalterable. What they most of all honor, after God himself, is the name of their legislator, Moses, whom if anyone blaspheme, he is punished capitally. They also think it a good thing to obey their elders, and the major part. Accordingly, if 10 of them be sitting together, no one of them will speak, while the other 9 are against it. They also avoid spitting in the midst of them, or on the right side. Moreover, they are stricter than any other of the Jews in resting from their labors on the 7th day. For they not only get their food ready the day before, that they may not be obliged to kindle a fire on that day, but they will not remove any vessel out of its place, nor go to stool thereon. Nay, on other days they dig a small pit, a foot deep, with a paddle, which kind of hatchet is given them when they are first admitted among them, and covering themselves round with their garment, that they may not affront the divine rays of light, they ease themselves into that pit, after which they put the earth that was dug out again into the pit. And even this they do only in the more lonely places, which they choose out for this purpose. And although this easement of the body be natural, yet it is a rule with them to wash themselves after it, as if it were a defilement to them. Now, after the time of their preparatory trial is over, they are parted into 4 classes, and so far are the juniors inferior to the seniors, that if the seniors should be touched by the juniors, they must wash themselves, as if they had intermixed themselves with the company of a foreigner. They are long-lived also, insomuch that many of them live above 100 years, by means of the simplicity of their diet. Nay, as I think, by means of the regular course of life they observe also. They contemn the miseries of life, and are above pain by the generosity of their mind. And as for death, if it will be for their glory, they esteem it better than living always. And indeed, our war with the Romans gave abundant evidence what great souls they had in their trials, wherein, although they were tortured and distorted, burnt and torn to pieces, and went through all kinds of instruments of torment, that they might be forced either to blaspheme their legislator, or to eat what was forbidden them, yet could they not be made to do either of them. No, nor once to flatter their tormentors, or to shed a tear. But they smiled in their very pains, and laughed those to scorn who inflicted the torments upon them, and resigned up their souls with great alacrity, as expecting to receive them again. For their doctrine is this, that bodies are corruptible, and that the matter they are made of is not permanent, but that the souls are immortal and continue forever, and that they come out of the most subtle air, and are united to their bodies as to prisons, into which they are drawn by a certain natural enticement, but that when they are set free from the bonds of the flesh, they then, as released from a long bondage, rejoice and mount upward. And this is like the opinions of the Greeks, that good souls have their habitations beyond the ocean, in a region that is neither oppressed with storms of rain or snow, or with intense heat, but that this place is such as is refreshed by the gentle breathing of a west wind that is perpetually blowing from the ocean, while they allot to bad souls a dark and tempestuous den, full of never-ceasing punishments. And indeed, the Greeks seem to me to have followed the same notion, when they allot the islands of the blessed to their brave men, whom they call heroes and demigods, and to the souls of the wicked, the region of the ungodly, in Hades, where their fables relate that certain persons, such as Sisyphus and Tantalus, and Ixion and Titius are punished, which is built on this first supposition that souls are immortal, and thence are those exhortations to virtue and dehortations from wickedness collected, whereby good men are bettered in the conduct of their life by the hope they have of reward after their death, and whereby the vehement inclinations of bad men to vice are restrained by the fear and expectation they are in, that although they
I want to speak to something real quick. A lot of people would try to say the Bible has this huge Roman influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you just see Josephus said these men were tortured by the Romans in
Mm-hmm.
wars, brutally tortured. So you see, um, them having some kind of agreement with them, is preposterous. Throw that out there. You got anything to say on that?
Well, yeah, you see, as they said, through hearing what you said and what you shared with me earlier, is that it was said that they wrote uh, some of the books or whatever, but we have to realize that uh, for lack of a better word, in the transition of power, where the Romans took over and stuff like that, they had influence, uh, put their own influence in our book, you know, in our letters and our writings by inserting, Roman and Greek deities and stuff like that, like God and JSUS and all that, and different things, and different like the King James versions where you see masculine names like Eliyahu in the Hebrew. In the Greek, they have Elias, and all masculine male names in Greek has an S on the end. So that lets you know that that's their influence, that they influence by putting it there, in their language and their terminologies on certain things. Then that don't discredit the scriptures or the writings itself. It just as Yah, one is linked up to the Ruach and Yahweh Bahasham Yahshua, you can see, He'll give you that eye to see those things and those Greek things, and even the whitewashing that they have done for so many years, man. But I thank the Most High Yah for restoring the truth to His people, man. That's in His time. So I just wanted to speak on that part about that.
And two, a lot of these things are used as snares and traps to those who are unbelievers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because if you'll let something as small as a name throw you from the validity of, the whole of the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like you weren't serious about it no way. Because you get into it and you see and you learn that it's truth and it's words of life, in the Torah, in the New Testament, that is bigger than the names. Just like, and it's information out there to lead you to understand what the right names are. So if
Mm-hmm.
you gonna quit at the early end or hear one thing or two things and quit, like, oh no, that's the white man book, then you gonna miss out on a lot. And a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
have. A lot of people ran to Islam, ran to atheism and all this because of little small things like this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's meant to cause some to stumble,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it was because what I mean, that's all it is to it. What can be shaken would be shaken, man. If one don't remain, it wasn't meant for that person to remain. Because if you're really true and sincere about something, you're gonna stay in it regardless of whatever transpires, whether good or bad times. You're not gonna jump ship. You're gonna stay with it. You're gonna ride till the wheels fall off, like we say. Um, and that's just what it is, man. When you're loyal to something and you secure and you're sure about something, see, a lot of people are just not sure. They don't have a sure foundation, and
Hello, cut out. Lost you out. To kind of lamb back on what he was saying. How many people in uncertainty are caught up in relationships that's unstable, that they unsure about, but yet they persevere and endure with that. But yet you won't persevere with the scriptures for your salvation's sake.
Right.
That problems with pastors or problems with mores cause you to fall off. Problems with friends and loved ones cause you to fall off. But when it comes to worldly problems and worldly issues, you stick through with that. You want to see that through. You want to keep
Mm.
giving chances and chances to your cheating lover or to your, asshole of a boss. You want to stick that out and stick that through, but you want to give up on the Most High Yah.
That
There's
don't
something.
make no sense. They don't for someone that's like that, and it's just the truth, man. It's not hate speech, it's not, talking down, it's just calling a spade, man. They don't know Abba Yah. They haven't tasted to see how true Abba Yah is, man. Experience, when one have an experience with the Most High Yah and been with the Most High, the Yah been with them rather, and Yah called them, and then they chose to adhere to the calling and putting Abba first, in situations, going through situations, and just running into the name of Yahweh because it's a strong tower, and seeing the Most High Yah rise on it for them and protect them and guide and shelter them and things like that, to see that Yah is for real. A lot of people haven't had those full experience like that. Um, and for those that do read or see certain misprints or things like that, because the enemy has translated in their language and brought you a different translation of versions or whatever. All esteem to Yahweh in Yahushua HaMashiach's name for the Ruach HaKodesh, man, who leads us and guides us in all truth. Uh, it's very awesome and powerful how powerful our mighty one is, man. Just to be honest, to boast, I'm for the boasting y'all right now for a second, man. I just want to boast in y'all, man. Hallelujah, man. And the one who teaches man knowledge and give man understanding, and when man is lacking and don't know how to handle something properly, who will give man wisdom to know how to handle situations if one just ask and believe when they ask him how, you know what I mean? Just, being sincere and contrite, having a contrite heart, and being sincere and seeking Yah diligently and getting that answer, because the Most High Yah is concerned and he truly loves his creation, and he's truly there for his creation. When one really tap into that, man, I don't care what goes on around you, man. Ain't nothing going to be able to shake you from that when you secure in that, because you know that Yah is true and you've seen him. You experienced him, rather. When I say seen him, I mean you experienced him, seen him arise for your case, on your case, whatever it may be. What, right. Man,
even
just
torture,
so awesome.
even torture. Like, that's what these men went through. That's what it talked about, that they lived in such a way that when persecution, even torture came upon them, it was nothing to them. It said they laughed at their tormentors. So they wouldn't even give off a tear, man. And if you know anything about, the Romans and the Greeks, these people was expert in torturing people.
Mm-hmm.
Expert. That's what they do. They love it. They sit and think of ways to torture people. And they put these men through it, and these men laughed at them. Because that's
they
how
know they creator.
Most High, man.
Right. They know they creator. They know the Most High. They know that the Nafai, they know that this meat suit right here, this body, is not last forever. What would a man give to gain to, to gain his soul? If you're going to adhere to the torture, they know, listen, like Charles said, man, it's more profitable to depart from this body, because to be absent from this body, be present with the Most High, with Adonai, with Yahweh. So with the Mashiach, Yahushua. So it's like, to die is gain, man. To live is expedient for the people that's on the rest, for them to learn and be edified. However, for one that's truly linked in, that truly walking Emunah and sure and trusted in the Most High Yah, to die for them is gain, bro. It's like, man, this is what I've been waiting on. Like, this is my my paradise now. You know what I mean? Like rest and barakah and everything that I've been missing up on the earth, I'm having it now. So it's like, it's a blessing. that's the other side. So many people are so scared of death. It's crazy. Like that's a part of our life. We wasn't meant to be made to live forever in this earth suit like this. No, that's not what it was. If that was the case when Adam and Hawa, ate of the fruit, Abba would allow them to eat of the tree of life and live forever in that state. So it wasn't made for us to live like this in that state in this earth suit. However, it is made for us to live forever, but not like this in this earth suit. You get what I'm saying? That's why we're going to be changed. We're going to have new bodies, incorruptible body. It speaks about that in the script, in the book, about putting on incorruptible. And it's talking about a body that we're going to have that's not going to be susceptible to sicknesses and disease, and even the all that stuff that we had to overcome here on the Rets by way of the enemy coming and putting thoughts in our mind and hearts and doing all that easy access that he has because of his flesh. It's going to be a beautiful man, that's another story. But man, y'all are so awesome, man. We don't jump ship because things ain't smooth or things ain't going the way that we stay loyal, man. What type of person want a friend like that in the world? That you only with me when everything is good, but when things is bad, you want to jump ship and you don't know me. That's not cool, man. You got to be all the way in with this thing. You either in or out. Ain't no in between. So I'm gonna leave it on that at that right there. So
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's get back into it.
Concealed in this life, they should suffer immortal temptations from wickedness collected, whereby good men are bettered in the conduct of their life by the hope they have of reward after their death, and whereby the vehement inclinations of bad men to vice are restrained by the fear and expectation they are in, that although they should lie concealed in this life, they should suffer immortal punishment after their death. These are the divine doctrines of the Essenes about the soul, which lay an unavoidable bait for such as have once had a taste of their philosophy. Footnote: of these Jewish or Essene, and indeed Christian, doctrines concerning souls, both good and bad, in Hades, see that excellent discourse or homily of our Josephus concerning Hades at the end of the volume. End footnote. There are also those among them who undertake to foretell things to come, by reading the holy books and using several sorts of purifications, and being perpetually conversant in the discourses of the prophets, and it is but seldom that they miss in their predictions. Footnote: Dean Aldrich reckons up 3 examples of this gift of prophecy in several of these Essenes and of Josephus himself, viz. In the history of the war, Judas foretold the death of Antigonus at Strato's tower, Simon foretold that Archelaus should reign but 9 or 10 years, and in the Antiquities, Menhuram foretold that Herod should be king and should reign tyrannically, and that for more than 20 or even 30 years, all which came to pass accordingly. End footnote. Moreover, there is another order of Essenes, who agree with the rest as to their way of living and customs and laws, but differ from them in the point of marriage, as thinking that by not marrying, they cut off the principal part of human life, which is the prospect of succession. Nay, rather, that if all men should be of the same opinion, the whole race of mankind would fail. However, they try their spouses for 3 years, and if they find that they have their natural purgations thrice, and trials that they are likely to be fruitful, they then actually marry them. But they do not use to accompany with their wives when they are with child, as a demonstration that they do not marry out of regard to pleasure, but for the sake of posterity. Now the women go into the baths with some of their garments on, as the men do with somewhat girded about them. And these are the customs of this order of Essenes. Footnote: there is so much more here about the Essenes than is cited from Josephus in Porphyry and Eusebius, and yet so much less about the Pharisees and Sadducees, the 2 other Jewish sects, than would naturally be expected in proportion to the Essenes or 3rd sect. Nay, than seems to be referred to by himself elsewhere, that one is tempted to suppose Josephus had at first written less of the one and and more of the two others than his present copies afford us, as also that, by some unknown accident, our present copies are here made up of the larger edition in the first case, and of the smaller in the second. See the note in Habakkuk's edition. However, what Josephus says in the name of the Pharisees, that only the souls of good men go out of one body into another, although all souls be immortal, and still the souls of the bad are liable to eternal punishment, as also what he says afterwards, that the soul's figure is immortal, and that under the earth they receive rewards or punishments according as their lives have been virtuous or vicious in the present world, that to the bad is allotted an eternal prison, but that the good are permitted to live again in this world, are nearly agreeable to the doctrines of Christianity. Only Josephus's rejection of the return of the wicked into other bodies or into this world, which he grants to the good, looks somewhat like a contradiction to St. Paul's account of the doctrine of the Jews, that they themselves allowed that there should be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. Acts 24, verse 15. Yet because Josephus's account is that of the Pharisees, and St. Paul's that of the Jews in general, and of himself, the contradiction is not very certain. End footnote. But then, as to the two other orders at first mentioned, the Pharisees are those who are esteemed most skillful in the exact explication of their laws, and introduce the first sect. These ascribe all to fate or providence, and to God, and yet allow that to act what is right, or the contrary, is principally in the power of men, although fate does cooperate in every action. They say that all souls are incorruptible, but that the souls of good men only are removed into other bodies, but that the souls of bad men are subject to eternal punishment. But the Sadducees are those that compose the second order, and take away fate entirely, and suppose that God is not concerned in our doing or not doing what is evil. And they say that to act what is good or what is evil is at men's own choice, and that the one or the other belongs so to everyone that they may act as they please. They also take away the belief of the immortal duration of the soul, and the punishments and rewards in Hades. Moreover, the Pharisees are friendly to one another, and are for the exercise of concord and regard for the public. But the behavior of the Sadducees one towards another is in some degree wild, and their conversation with those that are of their own party is as barbarous as if they were strangers to them. And this is what I had to say concerning the philosophic sects among the Jews.
All right, that's the end of that thing there. Let me see if it's another one about the Essenes, man. Let's check this out real quick. See what they
In
say.
ancient Judea, a devout sect of Judaism, known as the Essenes, thrives. For generations, they live in poverty, choosing to seek spiritual enlightenment by avoiding worldly pleasures. Essenes are vegetarian, do not marry, forbid the expression of anger, study the books of the elders, and safeguard the secrets kept in their sacred writings.
Pause there real quick.
Revolt of
Just said they do marry. They just have a hell of a process for getting married.
See, that's the problem when you're hearing it from a secondary source, or not from, you know what I mean, from other persons trying to interpret something that they probably don't even know. They just hearing it from some other source and some other source and all that old stuff, man. Because he just said that they don't even marry. Not only that, he said that they don't marry. You know, they avoid pleasures.
Rewind it real quick. Let me hear it one more time. Let's do that one more. Rewind it. Keep this out. And when it comes to that point, I'll just say something.
In ancient Judea, a devout sect of Judaism, known as the Essenes, thrives. For generations, they live in poverty, choosing to seek spiritual enlightenment by avoiding worldly pleasures. Essenes are vegetarian, do not marry, forbid the expression of anger, study the books of the elders, and safeguard secrets kept
real quick.
During the Jewish revolt
Hear me out.
CE,
What?
They said okay, they forbid, they don't marry. I said what? Okay, they don't marry, they eat, they vegetarians, and they forbid the expression of anger. And okay. So
revolt of 66 CE, the Essenes believe that a Roman invasion is imminent, so they hide their manuscripts in the caves outside the city before the Romans burn it.
Now he pause on that one real quick. Now this is what gets okay for them to they had that right there shows me that they had to believe the Mashiach, because they said they believed, according to him, he said that they believed in a imminent attack from the Romans. What did they get that information from? You know, they had to get, because Mashiach was the only one that spoke about that. Everybody else was thinking it was on something else. Mashiach told the disciples, the Talmudim, and you have to realize too that it was people around them at the time that may have not been of his disciples too, that was listening to the teachings and things that the Mashiach was bringing forth. So, you had people from the Pharisees, we see even in the book that it was a person from the sect of the Pharisees that secretly, Nicodemus, secretly following the Mashiach, right? And I'm sure it's other people that was doing the same, if not secretly, was, standing far off but hearing these messages and taking it, and then, certain things stick. So for them to think that for them to know that it was an imminent attack to happen from the Romans, it speaks to me, let me know that they have heard either the Mashiach himself, or they heard some of his through his disciples. He are those that heard his message and brought it forth, and they just believed on that end right there. So, Mashiach brought that because he knew, he was the visitation of the Most High, and he knew it was going to happen because he was the Word himself, and the Most High was going to bring that. The Most High brought that upon. So for them to know that, that's cool. But then they had some other stuff too that can be a little extra, sound like some fences, what we call fences, in the wall, where the place where I come from, before moving to North Carolina and Texas and stuff like that. When I was in Oklahoma, the branch of Jerusalem was where I was at, and they talk about fences where it's a command given in the script, and people put fences around that command instead of just letting the command be the command itself. They put fences. That right there to me is add-ons. But for the people that do add the fences, it is to protect someone. It's like saying this. Don't go into the kitchen because the command, don't touch the fire. The fire's hot. So people will put a fence and say, don't go into the kitchen because the stove is there, and it's the fire on the stove, and you might touch the fire. So don't go into the kitchen at all. You see what I'm saying? So that's a fence that people put around, and those have become traditions of men that's been perpetuated as if it's perpetrated as if it's the command of the Most High Yah, and that's what's been going on. And you even have that even going on now, in what people call the awakening, that a lot of people have fences on things, and they teach traditions of man and extra add-ons instead of just teaching the pure, unadulterated commands of the Most High Yah. So I just wanted to bring that out. But for the most part, that's cool. Now, I don't know. I'm a critical thinker, so I don't know. And we hearing it from this guy who's speaking on these people. You have some people that can relate what they see or what they heard. You have people that relate based on what they heard from somebody else other than the source themselves. So that can be distorted too. So I don't know how much, because we already see from what we hear from this guy that this guy said that they don't marry what the other guy said they did, right?
Yeah. Joseph was an actual Jew that lived in Judea.
Right.
And here you have this guy that's, for all intents and purposes, is just a Caucasian with some knowledge of the history, but it's totally different perspectives. Whereas he would hear something and wouldn't know what context to put it in, You know, our people, words can mean a bunch of things depending on how you use it.
Right.
Bad could be not good, or it could be, you know, exceptional,
Right.
depending on how it's used and who's using it, and it's like for an outsider to hear bad, they might say, man, he said she was not good.
Mm.
But, we hear it, a brother hear it and be like, no, that ain't what he was saying. He was saying she looked nice,
Right.
and it's just one of those kinds of things that, could be the case here. Now, we know that it said that he said they don't marry as a blanket statement. But the truth of the matter is that their guidelines for marriage is so extreme, that most don't. But it happens. You can't say it don't happen, period, because it happens.
Right.
If they find somebody that can make it past, I think it's what, 2 years, 2 to 3 years of the courtship, then they
Mhm.
marry them. Even after they marry them, they still have a certain way of life that they live, like, because it ain't about the sex. It's about, you know, producing children.
Mhm.
And that's just how they move with it. So, it's just, that's why you get two or more sources. But that's the only thing so far that he was off about, is just having this blanket statement, like, that no one gets
Yeah.
married with them.
Right. That can be very misleading by saying something. That's words matter. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
You
a
know,
person but can only take from you can speak to someone. Now, if a person is fully filled with the ruach, and I say this and I mean this because the power of the ruach is so exceptional. One can say something and misrepresent what they saying, but they mean something totally different in their heart, because y'all know the heart and the intent of men, right?
mhm.
So somebody might say something because they don't know how to express themselves fully with words, or know how to properly use words in its right context. And it'll come off where the natural ear will hear it and would think that they saying what they saying based on their mind, but they really saying something different based on what's in their mind and their heart. See, but y'all knows the heart and intents of men, so y'all already know what they mean. They just had a mishap with the words out of their mouth. That can happen. Uh, I've done it. I've met people that done it. Have they mean something, but the way that they come out in the expression of it, it don't come out fully how they mean it in their heart, or how they thinking on it. But y'all knows, and I know y'all knows. Everybody know y'all knows. So some people say, and that's that part where people just real quick, they cut that part that people say, y'all know my heart can be used in so many ways, where people, that's starting to be like a forbidden saying to some, because they feel like, some people, when you talk to people about a situation, they be like, well, y'all know my heart, whatever. Well, and then there's cases where, where y'all truly know, y'all does knows the heart, and he know exactly what it is. So the whole thing about it is, man, all esteem to Yahweh. The Yahweh is the one that's judging. The Yahweh is the one that sits on the throne, and Yahweh is the one that knows. I'm so glad that it's him who sits on the mercy seat, man, to be honest with you, man, because if it was left up to the people, or to people, bro, probably wouldn't be nobody left, man. Even now, through the misrepresentations and stuff like that. But that's neither here. All esteem to Yahweh though, but it's good to see. But you had to have a trained ear to hear these things, man, of what's going on. About these sins. Who knows? Y'all knows truly about these sins. It sounded like to me they was for truth, like followers, believers on certain things, and then there's certain things that it sounds like sound like they did had certain fences created by themselves for their own discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite you know, uh extraordinary, Not that it's nothing wrong with it. It's just that in having an understanding of our people, and how, you have to think too. We had been in a period of being surrounded by the heathen and being influenced by the heathen. So they came up with a formula of how to refrain. Just like now, it'll take special circumstances for us to refrain from a lot of wickedness. Because now people got so many allowances that seemingly nothing's wrong with them, right? People be like, "Where is it written that you can't watch porn?" But you shouldn't be doing it though, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like these kinds of things they have to be instituted and mandated, you know, and it's like here you have a group of people that's just not allowing any leeway for wickedness to come in. So you're gonna eat like this. You're gonna eat at this time. You're gonna work at this time. You're gonna pray at this time. Like they got a schedule on their stuff. You know, not that it's mandatory, but that if you want to be among them and be with them, that's how you're gonna have to move. And I respect that. You know, you don't want to do it, you gotta do it.
Right. That's anybody's house. It's like when you go into somebody's house, if they have rules that, hey, when you come into my house at the door, take off your shoes. You got to respect that when you in that person's house. If you, don't sit on this specific couch, sit on this seat over here. Okay, I have to respect it. That's the person's house. You can't go into nobody's house trying to run somebody's house or how they do it. That's disrespect. That's gonna be a quick way to get kicked out, like thrown out. You know, what you call it, the Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah.
get your Jazzy Jeff. That's the quick way to get your Jazzy Jeff on. You know?
Let's be mindful of the fact too, though, that they prospered in these actions, though. Most High was with them, even to the point where he allowed them a peace of mind to endure torture.
Right. Because the intent, you have to look, the Most High weighs the heart, the intent and motives of the man. Their intent and purpose is to please Abba, right?
Yep.
So that right there, when one honor him, Abba honors them. That's written. That's word. That can't be broken. That's what that is. To a man that direct his life aright, he honors the Most High.
Hallelujah.
And so when you do that, that's just honorable, bro. That's just, the Most High is the Most High is not a hater. Let me tell you that right now. The Most High is not a hater. He give honor to where honors due. He asks, it's written for us to give honor to whom honor due and props. The Most High does the same. Do you know that? I mean, I know you know that. I'm talking about the people on the outside, like those that's listening, or those that will come across this, that the Most High does the same thing. Like he don't tell us to do something that he don't do himself. You know that? I want y'all to know that. Like the Most High is involved with his creation to the full. Like
hands on.
Yeah, he's hands on. He don't just do what I say and not as I do. No, he even tell us to imitate him. It's written for us to imitate him. So, but we have to know him. Don't take that wrong though. You know him, study, be diligent in your research and your studying of him. Search for him with all your heart and you're going to find him. And when you do that, he can incorporate into you the way to do things and how to do things. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not familiar with that. So when they see that, they don't know how to respond to that. And they come wrong or they come disrespect. I come even contemptly. Like it's crazy, man, how people do things, man. And then you try to express certain things to people. Sometimes they don't want to hear, but sometimes when they hear, they'll get it. But in the moment of them going through whatever they're going through and seeing certain things in their own perspective, mind's eye, leading to their own understanding of things, they speak ill of things that they have no knowledge of. And that's crazy. I think it's written somewhere where it speaks about in the last days, it's going to be people like that speak ill of dignitary, of things that they don't know, and lovers of themselves and pleasure and covenant breakers and things like that. So, man, all this stuff has a tie into it, man. And if it doesn't have a tie into the Ruach and to the word of the Most High Yah, then it's suspect. And that's where if that's what you want to do and indulge in, to do your research, to study to see if it's LinkedIn or whatever, then hey, that's your lot. That's what you got going. But I thank the Most High Yah for him being who he is and giving us everything that he has given us to live a reverent life of him, of Abba Yahweh, Al Elyon, the Most High. So in the name of his son Yahushua Mashiach, man. So I got to boast in him, man. All the esteem to Yah, man. It's only because of his mercy. And real quick, off the subjects while we're speaking, and this is fresh on my heart. I got a question. Okay. The Most High has been merciful to us, right? He's been merciful and kind to us to even give us the knowledge of sin, to repent, and even how to find him, right? And then when we do that, then as finding him, how do we gain favor by being obedient unto him. Noah did not gain favor just because he was Noah. Noah gained favor because he was obedient.
Action.
Yeah.
Like a movie. Action.
Exactly. That's how he gained favor. So that right there, I want to say this, and this because it's personal for me. Even in relationships with men and women, our children and parents, friends, one can gain favor in the same way. See, the things that the Most High give us in the spiritual, man, it can carry over in so many ways in the natural, bro, to make one successful and insightful. And man, it's so awesome and delicious, bro. I'm telling you.
Delicious.
I'm telling you, man, it's delicious. Taste and see is good, man. It's too. I'm telling you, it's man, delicacy.
That's right.
to see, I'm saying, man, you gain favor by being okay. You have a friend, like say you have a person you work for. Let's say a boss, for lack of a better word. You have a boss you working, but you're not a man pleaser or working only in the sight of the boss. This is just your work ethic, and you're really good at what you do. And by being good at what you do, and you know how to follow instructions well, because you know how to follow instructions from the Most High, from listening and studying and hearing what his words say, do and applying it. And then you applying that in your workspace. And they see that carrying over, and then they take note of you, and then they hear you, and you communicate well, and you talk well, and you behave well, and you be well, and all these old things. And you gain favor in your boss's sight because of who you are, because you are linked into the Most High Yah, and you have taken that you learned from him and carried that over and spilled over even to your workplace, and you gain favor by being favorable and doing things that the person can't ignore because they see it on your life, and you just bring a blessing. You see what I'm saying? So it gives you favor. It's the same way with the Father. When you hear what he say do, when you do it, you gain favor from the Most High Yah. Father Abraham gained favor from the Most High Yah because of his obedience by what he done, not because he just knew him. No, it wasn't. Look, a person can have children, and you can have 4 children, and all 3 of your children can be doing whatever they're doing, but you got this one child that sticks around you all the time and listen to what you say every time that you tell them and do that. The person gains favor in that parent's sight. You see what I'm saying? And then the other children, they see and they get jealous and they get mad because you apply yourself and being obedient to what your parents say, and they don't. But if they would do the same thing, they would receive the same treatment. But unfortunately, they don't do the same thing, so they don't receive the same treatment. Not to say that the parent treat them wrong or anything. It's just that this child may have more favor in their life by what they've done because of their obedience and being around Papa. Let's use Joseph, for example. It's a reason. I know that Joseph was the child of the woman that he loved, but even what he done when he was coming up, being around his pops like that and listening to his pops and being obedient and everything, it gained favor. I'm just being honest. So, we can move forward. I didn't want to take too much time.
Man, speak on that thing, man. Yeah, we can go forward, but hit them with it.
Yeah, we'll get into it, bro. We ain't got enough time, y'all, with it, man. Austin to y'all. I just, wanted to get that off my heart, man, because, in life, we go through things, even for the word's sake, bro. We go through a lot of things, many are the affliction of the righteous, but Yahweh delivers out of them all. And what I've come to terms to realize and know, and I thank the Most High Yah for, because it was him, it's his favor, it's his chesed, his kindness to let me know these things that a lot, and what people need to know, even people that's coming into the walk, man, that you're gonna, when you hear the word, the true word, and you take it to heart and rejoice, know that trial and testing is coming. You can't avoid that. That's how it's made. This is how it's programmed. That's the program. That's the way it's done. People think that you get into this thing and it's going to be all peaches. No, don't let them lie to you. That's what makes people fall off, because they feel like it's going to be a certain way, and then when they experience certain things that's not what they thought, they fall off. Like, no. So that's why true teaching need to be taught, so people can know these things, to know what to expect, rather to consider whether they're going to do this thing or not. Because whatever you do it wholeheartedly. Don't half but nothing. Don't half-ass nothing. Do what you're going to do it wholeheartedly. So if you're going to walk this walk it wholeheartedly, and be prepared to know that you're going to have rejection. You're going to have people talk about you. All this stuff is going to happen. So what? It don't matter. It's about what y'all see and what y'all say it is about you. How y'all see you, what y'all say about you. That's what it's all about. Because in the end, when you stay loyal to the Most High Yah, doing everything he say do, all those people that talked about you, going to bring them to shame. All them people that did this and everything, they're going to be brought to shame. and they're gonna be sitting there looking at you while you shining like the sun, and they sitting over there dark with no light, confused, scratching head, crying, whining, and talking. That's just how it's gonna be. So stay loyal, my friend. Like Dos Equis, and he say, "Stay thirsty, mate. Stay loyal, my friend."
Yeah. Stay
Real,
thirsty.
man.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take that. Eat on that. All right, here we go. But the white boy finished telling them what his versions of events.
Yes, sir.
In 1946, Bedouin shepherds stumble across the hidden scrolls when they throw a rock in a cave and hear a shattering sound. 2,000 years later, the sacred writings of the Essenes, known today as the Dead Sea Scrolls, were found.
I didn't know that those two correlate.
You didn't know what
That the Dead Sea Scrolls,
Mm-hmm.
they wrote them.
Right. Yep. And they was in them. That's why remember I told you earlier about the mountain they was in, the Mountain of Qumran. I think that's the mountain that I think they was in. They hid the scrolls. They hid these teachings, and it bear witness to the truth. So they was followers of Mashiach. Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that out. That's good, huh?
Mikia hopped in the comments, man. He was laughing at when you said delicious.
Oh yeah.
What's going on?
Shalom.
The gun range manager. Got a lot of titles. This is one of them. You know, our brother kept us safe and on point at the gun range down at the Salt community. Sure appreciate you. But yeah, man, hold on. Let's see. We got another quick little thing on the Dead Sea Scrolls. See what they say real quick.
These are the Dead Sea Scrolls, and this is the place where they were found. That's why it's so exciting.
The heathen went to the cave.
You can see behind them. You can see this man running for 3 kilometers from Qumran with a scroll that describes his dream, his temple. The Romans were coming. But
there's another thing too, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
These hold on, let me put the thing on the thing.
And shout out again to my Ak, man, Mikael Benai Yashal, man. Salute, King. How you doing, man? Shalom, brother. Yeah, man, he told delicious. Yeah. To that, yeah.
I'm gonna talk about some of these heathens, man, with these Khazars. Now, you hear them all the time. They talk about Hitler. Hitler, the worst thing since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
Why you don't hear them talk about the Romans?
Right.
Romans killed way more quote-unquote Jews than Hitler ever could have dreamed of. Hitler burned you niggas because you had typhoid fever. Was running around here nasty. You want to clean your ass. You had diseases. You caught typhoid fever. And to get rid of the disease, he burned the bodies. I seen videos, man. You know, they had soccer leagues.
Who?
They had concentration camp soccer leagues. These heathens wasn't being mistreated like that. He was locking them up because they was breaking his laws, man. It was a video, I kid you not, live video of what, not live, like it was taken like current day, but I'm saying like footage of around that time because they had video cameras doing World War, what was it, 1 or 2? That all that happened.
So World War One. World War One. Yeah, World War One was that, and I think World War Two was the
Japanese.
No. Iraqi war, something like that. What's that?
With the Japanese.
Mikael, listen, ask Mikael. Mikael might know. I think Mikael might know. I don't think it was the Japanese, bro. Nah, World War One was the was Hitler. World War II, I think World War Two was like the was it like, I don't know, was that Desert Storm? What is that? That was Iran, Iraqi, or something like that. One of them.
You talking about this?
Let me Google it. Listen. When you in doubt, Google something. I'm telling, Google it out.
I ain't in doubt no more. Look, I ain't in doubt no more.
Bro.
World War One or World War. Look, one is the Germans, one is with the Japanese. I'd be confused about which one. Said World War II.
Japanese War. I thought that was Hiroshima. The war with the Japanese, but that's not World War II, though, is it? You in the area? I'm not.
World War II. So World War II is the war with Germany. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm about to tell you what I'm saying right now. In a second, just let me get my little cheat code on, and I'll tell you in a second. World War II is
the war with Germany. The Second World War.
Okay, Germany. Well, you're okay. Yeah, Germany. There you go.
Well, they gotta tell me something about the First World War. They're not just going to leave it open like that. What is the First World War about? Hold on.
Okay.
Who fought in World War One?
It was a World War II, wasn't it?
No,
Russia, Ottoman.
it takes. Who fought?
Italo-Turkish War? What?
During the conflict, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire fought against Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Japan, and the United States.
So it was all you. Every world war was a European. Was a war amongst
White on white crime, man.
White crime, man. World War One, 2, and 3 coming up, right?
They said 3 coming up. I don't believe it. These heathens don't want to call it. They got people that control behind the scenes, man.
These heathens ain't got no power over the Most High, though. I tell you that. If he want to throw them in a state of confusion where they fight against each other, then hey,
Yeah, absolutely. The global war of Europe, and it still don't say.
Yeah.
He said his mom was born on Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah, I was laughing. I laughed because he put the little smiley, laughy face with the tears.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that how you know these heathens is not the people, because they never beef about the Romans,
right?
And we as a nation don't beef enough about the Romans and the Italians. We ain't pissed off enough at them. We love their pizza and their pasta and fettuccine.
We love their pizza. You ain't like, not only that, but then even our people that's out there try to. The gangsters are the Italians. We try to fashion ourselves after them. Want to be gangster and everything. They came from them. That's their word. That's their life. And we always talking about gangster. Want to be gangster. That's where they come from, sir. That's from them. That's all them.
We was tribal. It was about our wars was about standards and moral issues and stuff like that. It wasn't about no turf. It wasn't caring about no turf. It was, man, you didn't took from me. You didn't. Well, I don't know. It's probably kind of the same kind of thing. It's really petty, really. Most things thought of as petty, except when it concerned about the fact of Shem had an inheritance that Canaan came and took. I talked about that today, about the inheritances of Shem and Ham and Japheth. Shem had a certain lot that was his throughout all the generations, and Canaan came and decided to want to take some of that land. So Most High had to clear it out. That's why certain people land they couldn't go and take. He said, nope, don't go up against them. That's their lot. That's their inheritance. Right. Don't touch that.
Right.
Go touch what's yours. And it's just different books confirming each other, man. All these people talking about Jubilees ain't no good, Jashes ain't no good. Well, how else you gonna get the understanding then? Because the 66 don't tell you that they split the world up in the threes and where at. Jubilees tell you exactly what lands they split. And other people want to talk about America is the place and all that. Well, these places that they talking about, it's not in America.
Right.
These people that talking about, now, granted, America is in a section, because one had the north, one had the center, and one had the south. So, man, I don't know. I don't go into all that. What it is. Oh, look at my little minions.
That's my nephew, and that's my sister. Shalom, sister. I can't right. What's up, nephew?
Shalom.
What's up, sis? Look, let me see my nephew. Look, what's up, big man? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
Man, you in there chopping it up.
Yeah.
Shalom, Mark. He said shalom. He can't quite say it yet, but you know.
Yeah, you woke him up.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me put his clothes on. You know these heathens, man.
Right.
They be flag me. They be flag me. Talk about child porn and stuff on this thing, man.
No.
Look, hey, there's something else about these heathens, right? They stopped us from being able to, whoop out kids and all that, right? These heathens take their children and give them sex operations. I can't whoop my son with a belt, but you can cut his penis off.
Wow.
And give him hormone pills so he can grow breasts.
Wow.
I can't whoop him with a belt. I mean, come on, man. This stuff is crazy, man. Everybody really flag me now.
I think that the taking away the whoopings from the home, like in my time, that didn't happen. But taking away from the whoopings is like a surety that, you know what, we gonna take care of them. You know, you whoop them, that's gonna take away the foolishness out their heart and all of those stuff, and that's not gonna. It's gonna take away. It's gonna take away the chances of us getting a hold to them, putting them in the prison and making money off of them, whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I be thinking. You know.
Yeah.
But that's cold. When I was young, I know when I was young, man, I was mama whooped me and told me to call the police, and I called and they came.
Hey, black parents used to love to say that, man. Call the popo, call the police.
And when they came, you know, they asked my mama some things. They told my mama told them whoop whoop whoop, and I whooped his ass. And she was like, "Okay, man, thank you, appreciate you." And they left.
Man,
what? They just left.
I'm so old. I used to get my ass beat in school.
I did too. Man, mama came up. Listen, I was remember in-house? Did y'all have an in-house?
What's in-house?
In-house is like, we call it in-house. It's a detention place where they had. We had middle school. We had an in-house. They call in-house. They'll send you the in-house. And it was an annex building that they had. And at this time, we had a young substitute in-house teacher at the time that was watching us. I'm in there clowning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that they just snuck and called my mama and had my mama come up there, and then she just pop up in and say, "You know how when your mom pop, you act like you doing."
Yeah, too late.
It's over with. So mama, oh, you want to act? You want to? She called me into the front of the whole thing, right? Because the dean, and it was a dean, an old lady. She was an old country lady, man. She had a smirk on her face. Man, mama had that paddle with me in front of everybody, bro. And you know, you in front of everybody, so you trying to be manly. You ain't trying to cry. And remember I told you we had a young substitute there that was at the time. So when mom and them left and I went to sit back and they closed the door, it was just like on cue. He just bust out laughing, right? And then everybody started laughing. He was like, "Man, I know you want to cry, man. You trying to be tough. I know you want to cry, man." She told he was just crazy. And I'm over trying to be cool and tough. Like, man, it ain't hurt. It ain't hurt, man. Stuff tore me up, man.
Yeah.
It took everything within me to not cry.
Hey, I used to get paddled with other people by the principal. We used to paddle together, like, and man, if you was the first one up and you seeing somebody get hit and they go to jumping or hollering or something, you can't laugh at them because if you laugh, you get more licks and all that, man. That thing was something else, man. School, so man, I am so sorry. I want to publicly apologize to all my teachers, terrorizing y'all. Because listen, for real, when we was younger, teachers actually cared more about the kids, man, and they actually stressed behind not being able to teach kids and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And like, to think we came in there and it was a lot of older teachers back then. Now they got these old young ass teachers, 20 years old, 25, 26 years old and stuff, man. People don't really care about this stuff. Not like that. Right. But we had older ladies, man, in there, that that went home at night and put together lesson plans and stuff to come to school and teach. Man, we terrorized these women, man.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad that the Most High y'all had. My bad. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was saying I'm glad that the Most High y'all had where I was in the country. I stayed with my great grandmama in the country in Boynton, Oklahoma, and they had a school that was small where it was from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade in one big building, right? And my teachers at the time, like they was doing paddlings then too, but my teachers, they was incorporating scriptures in the curriculum and teaching, in class in my third grade, I believe, where they give you a scripture and you have to memorize it. And then when you come and you memorize and you say the scripture correctly, they'll give you a plaque with that scripture on it. So they was incorporating scripture at the time in my school, man. I thank the Most High Yah for that now. You know what I mean? Because that was, a prepping for even today. And the Most High Yah knew. So I could have stayed in the city with my mama then, but my mama gave me to my great grandmama, which made that available to me like that. You get what I'm saying? And I had to go to church with my great grandmama because she wouldn't, talking about staying back where? What?
Yeah.
Nah. Get your butt up and go wash your face. Make sure you wash behind your ear. She used to always, say, she had a little story. I don't know who little Danny Dauber is, but this is a little thing that my great grandma must have said to even my mama and them, my cousin, my uncles and them. Who is Danny Dauber? Little Danny Dauber didn't like to wash behind his ear. Like, Grandma, what are you talking about? What are you talking? Who is Danny Dauber? I never heard that in the book. They ain't teaching me that. I don't know nothing about that. Who is that? Danny Dauber. And why come I can't use the toilet stool? Why I got to go in the outhouse? I'm using the toilet stool.
Outhouse. Hey, to bring this full circle on the Essenes, it was like they ain't even have an outhouse. They had a little paddle that they went and dug pretty much a trench with and a pit, and they go off in certain spots and ease themselves. That's what he said. And ease themselves. Yeah, man. When I was building grain bins, man, the ox said he grateful for his whoopings.
Yeah.
On farms, you talking about farms with 700, 800 acres, right? So, and then every other person in that town has a farm with the same amount of acres. So you're gonna be, half an hour, 45 minutes from a gas station somewhere, so, and you're not about to go in the farmer's house to use the bathroom. So you got to take a dump. You're gonna have to go out in the cornfield, or you're gonna have to find a bucket or something, go behind the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that thing was real humbling, man. It's real humbling. You ain't been humble till you didn't took a dump in a cornfield. You'd had to walk through a couple rows of corn, find you a good spot, dig you a little trench and drop one off in there and cover him up and get on back to work.
It's even written in the Torah too, man, where you when you relieve yourself, have a spade, and after you do your duty, cover the spade up for the Most High. It says that Yahweh walks in the camp. It said he walked in the camp. It's a good fertilizer. That's true. Yahweh walks through the camp, and he don't want, at least he sees something, nasty. I'm paraphrasing the word for it. At least he sees something like that, and he depart from the camp. So I'm like, I shared this with an elder a long time ago. I'm 37. I shared this with him, I think about 19, 20, 21, one of them. I said, man, y'all was walking through the camp. It says this in the thing where it said, at least he see this, and he depart because he see that uncleanliness, and he, you know what I mean? He was like, no, he don't walk no camp. No, I know. Like he was coming at me like, yeah, it says it right there. You got to, when you do your duty, cover it up. At least he see it because he walks through the camp. You may have not seen him walk through the camp, but he's walking through the camp. Hey, no, I know. All right, I know.
Now, do you feel like that was him or it was Yahusha?
I believe it was Yahusha. Yeah, everything that we seen in the physical realm or the physical force has always been Yahusha, a representative of Yahweh, representative of all of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? That's what. Yeah. So I believe it was him. Yeah. Before he came to the flesh.
I noticed even in Jasher and even in the Bible, they spell them different. One is Lord with a capital L, lowercase ORD, and one is full caps. And one is the Lord God, and one is just Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it be little ways that it shows the difference, man, and it is a difference. Just like when it says the Lord came to see Abraham, that was the Most High, y'all. That came to
Right.
see, you know,
Right.
Yahush.
It was Yahusha. Yahusha said Abraham rejoiced to see my day. What day is he talking about? Like this is the thing. Oh, real quick. All the students y'all wild, man. This little commercial break. Shout out to my brother.
Shout out.
Rejoice Wine. Shemach. That's Shemach, y'all. That's joy.
Hold on. I tried to make you the head of the thing.
Okay, yeah, I got to do this break. I got to give shout outs to our brethren.
Show it to him.
To our brother, this is the Rejoice Wine, y'all.
That's pineapple.
Pineapple right here.
I've had some. It's quite tasty.
Inspiredbytorah.com is where you can find it. I got some flavors. You hear me?
Get you some.
Get you some of this Shemach. Get you some of this Shemach, this Rejoice Wine, this joyful wine, this mirth.
And if you ever get a chance to get some of his cooking too, you'll realize you
brother throws down. Brother throws down. That's Benaiah, y'all. I want to tell y'all, man, Benaiah, man. Rejoice Wine, inspiredbytorah.com is where you can find it. Pretty darn good. And I mean that. I'm not just saying it because it's my brother. I'm saying it because it's for real. And if you can taste it right now, I'll give you a little bit and let you judge for yourself. However, I can't do it, so I'm gonna rejoice for you. Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. The Essenes, is it's a lot of things that we could take from them, that we could learn from them, certain things that we could institute. If any of you would like a link to that video, let me know. Pop in the comments or something. I'll send it to you. That excerpt, that is a reading from a book. That book is Josephus, The Wars of the Jews. Mm-hmm. I also have that on PDF. And if you would like that, let me know. And I'll send that to you.
Highlight Brother Mikael too, on the inspired.com right there with Brother Mikael.
Here.
I'm gonna rejoice right quick while we still talking to
them. See that thing.
Inspiredbytorah.com,
Rejoice Wine. Get you some. Yeah, man. The Essenes living truly Kodash. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us like to think we live Kodash. Them brothers really didn't have no equals with how they was putting it down, with the strictness, with the seriousness of it. Very unorthodox. Even the apostles had a measure of it, but it's like they took it even higher than the apostles did, just out of sincerity and wholeheartedness towards the Most High, devoutness and zealousness, not mandatory, but not unlawful either. So
that's good you brought that out, huh? Yeah, I'm scared this way.
Something to think about.
You said it.
Yeah. It's not mandatory. It's people who have gotten in that didn't live that way. And but it ain't gonna hurt you to do it. That's the point of the whole thing. It ain't gonna hurt you.
Whatever's needed for you to be disciplined, to live that reverent life.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it
takes, man. And a lot of our people so hard-headed, we need that discipline. It's like working out. You're not gonna work out by yourself a lot of times. You need somebody to be like, come on, let's go. Let's get it. Let's do it. You can do it. 2 more push-ups. You got it. And a lot of times we need that. Like me, man. I got shin splits, and if you know about shin splits, when you run for a period of time, your shins start to swell up, right? And I used to always say, man, I can't run no miles. That's dead. You can cancel that. Until I ended up going to juvenile. I had to go to like this kind of like a ROTC style boot camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like a way to get out of going to juvenile prison. Now in Alabama, our juvenile prison is pretty much just like prison. It's just a prison for teenagers. People in there getting stabbed and getting killed and getting everything. So it's pretty much a thing like you don't really want to go that route by choice. If you go, you go, you know what I'm saying? Deal with it, right? Right, it was something. Now, uh uh I I ended up having to go to this camp, and they always make it known to you, you don't do what we tell you, we're gonna send you that way. You know. I tell you what, the juvenile prison was so bad, they had their own cemetery.
Mm.
For all you poor folks, your parents can't afford to bury you, they're gonna bury you out back.
Wow.
So they had us running like 2 miles at like 5 o'clock in the morning and like 2 miles at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a 4-week program.
Mm-hmm.
It was called a HIT program, highly intense training, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on your 4th week, you go home. So it's in stages and groups. You got the tank dogs and the soldiers and the this and that, right? I kid you not. By the 3rd week, I'm running the miles. Not only am I running them, I'm leading. To where in the 4th week, I was the PT leader, I was the group leader, I was all this, right? But coming into this, before I got to this place, I would have never told. Listen, you talking about you gonna do push-ups? We're doing 50s slow. I'm talking about down, up, and nigga might wait. Nigga might wait on you by 2 minutes, and you better hold it. You better hold them arms stiff and straight. Everything. He up, down, up. Listen, did all that. Nothing. It's a beast. But you couldn't have told me before I got into that I was going to be able to do any of it. Because it took discipline. It took requirements. It took a penalty that I didn't want to face to make me do what I didn't want to do. And that's the Essenes. They had parameters. They had consequences for not following it. You heard what they said? You take an oath. And if you get kicked out, you still responsible for these oaths you took, for the consequences. They say these people couldn't even eat regular food when you
eat grass.
Grass. It said it was so bad that they felt sorry for the men. Said right before the men die, because you eating grass, you're not well nourished. They shriveling up, they about to die from starvation. They said right before they die, they forgive them and bring them back in. That's how serious it was.
Oh, it's a form of punishment for the transgression that they done.
Yeah.
On the brink of death is like a destroying of that flesh. Oh, you're gonna bring that bring it on in. I got you.
Yes, sir. 50 slow, and it was nothing. Listen, on the 4th week, we had it was a series of tests you have to pass, kind of like a obstacle course. The 2 main obstacle courses was the pyramid and the wall. The pyramid was about, I want to say, 50 to 60 feet tall, and it was in sections. You had rope. You had like you had the little rope ladder. Then you had a rope to climb. So you climb up the ladder, to hop on the rope, to climb up the rope,
right.
To hop on to hop on something else, to hop on something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that. That was nothing. Knocked that out. Man, when they took us to that wall, the wall is about 70 feet high, full of pegs. I don't know if you ever climbed with pigs. It's like a little. Imagine a little knot on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little knot on the wall, a
Uh-huh.
spot for your hand to grab, and a
Right.
spot for your feet. Climb all the way up that thing, 70 feet tall, and stand on the edge of the wall. When you get up there, you stand on the edge. Put your hands behind your back in that what's it called? Parade something, a rest or something. Parade rest. And you say all the cadences you've been learning for 4 weeks. Losing is not a sometime thing, it's an all the time thing. No, not losing.
Losing? What?
Winning is not a sometime thing,
That
it's an
wasn't
all
no
the time thing. There's a bunch of different cadences, right?
Yeah.
And you say all that and you climb down. Now they told you don't throw your harness because you wear a harness on the way up. In case you fall, they can catch you or whatever. But you wear this harness all the way up, right? They said, don't throw your harness. Man, I came down. I'm so happy when I came down. Happy that I made it because your whole time there, you seeing this course on your PT. You're like, that's the wall. You're going to do that on your 4th week. That's the wall. You looking at that thing like, that thing way up there. You're like, shit, I ain't doing that. What you mean? You crazy. Man, look. I came down off that wall. First of all, this is all upper body strength. Climbing these pegs. All forearms, swole. I came off that thing. I took my harness off. I'm feeling myself. Tossed that thing. Louis, give me 50.
Wow.
You 50? You conscious? You know how my arms feel right now? I did them, but it wasn't like how you do them on PT. On PT, you feel these, and hey, man, they felt so good, man. Imagine 4 grandmas cooking you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm talking about, man, everything from scratch, everything nice, man.
Yeah, they took care of the children. I mean, the youngins, and just real quick, I'm gonna let you finish. Took over, for juvenile and mentorship programs and different things like that. They made sure they fed the little ones like little princes and kings, man. Like you said, homemade pancakes and biscuits and food and all kind of stuff. Chicken, man.
Absolutely, man. Them biscuits. I don't think I had better biscuits and gravy since. I'm talking about it was like some Hardee's or some biscuits or something, but on another level, like Pillsbury and Hardee's got together and came up with a special biscuit or something, man. Like that thing was on point. I left that thing. I was probably 180 pounds, solid muscle. Man. I ain't been that big since. I've been to prison and everything. Still ain't been that big. But yeah, man, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Came out that thing ready.
Yeah, I did the same type of thing like that. It was a mentorship program with the National Guard. And we did things like that. We went to a camp and, stayed on site and did, push-ups and PT training. And then one day, my silly self being young, I took some marijuana leaves, not the bud, but the leaves. Because I didn't know. I was curious. And I thought that the leaves is what one smoke, right? I didn't know it's the bud. I thought it was the leaf of it. So somebody told me, I overheard somebody saying, you take the leaf and you put it in some bag and you put it in a compressed area in darkness and let it sit there. And then it'll like be bud, like how we say compressed weed. That's what I thought. I was young and I thought that's what happened. And then it was far from the truth. So I went there and we was on the bus, and me being extra friendly, gonna show this Caucasian man, this Caucasian dude that was young like us, my little leaf, my weed leafing thing. And so I hear the thing. So when we get back to the dorm in the bed, they come up in there and they trying to play it off so they don't, they thinking I'm gonna come and tell them myself, which I didn't, and not, point the finger at the one that told. So they did this whole ordeal. yeah, whoa, we heard something, and all this, you know, everybody gonna have to go outside. It's raining. We're gonna run. We're gonna push up everybody. You know, I'm like, shoot, I'm with it. I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm out there just doing everything they doing, and they were like, now they was trying to get me to squeal, and I wouldn't. And he didn't do. Just finally came and said, man, this guy ain't gonna break it. Look, we know it's you, man. We somebody told us it was you, and you just need to just confess up. So I got kicked out the mentorship program because I had the weed and I wouldn't tell him myself. And it wasn't the bud, it was the leaves. But the little white boy told on me, man. I thought it was cool.
No, that's what we always think, that they cool. They really not.
No.
So, you know, we got on all that to show about the discipline of the Essenes and how sometimes it take having a strong hand. I tell my wife all the time, man, women, our sisters need a firm hand, man. You know, because if left to their own accord, we see what happens. You know, unless a sister is you know, quite humble, quite shamefaced and all that, man, and just really just seeking guidance and instruction to be led, or just moving circumspect. If she's not that type, predisposed to do that already, she needs somebody to come instill that in her and to require it. And if she don't get it, we see chaos, as we see in our community today, from the, you know, freedom movement and this independence movement among our women, man. We see destruction is what we see. And it's the same thing with us as a people. I keep telling people, Proverbs 31 is not just about women. It's about us as a nation. The Most High has compared Judah and Israel as sisters, and as his wives that have done perversely by him and have gone off and committed whoredom with many gods and many nations. You know why? She needs a firm hand. She needs correction. She needs rebuking. And, you know, us as a nation, that's how we are until we become that Proverbs 31, until we become shamefaced, till, you know, we become meek and submissive, you know, and it's the same thing. So here we have an example with the Essenes that they put together a formula to produce that meekness and that submissiveness. They afflicted themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, man. You know, it's only extreme to those that aren't completely separated from their Western mind, man. We got to understand the Western mind
is an enemy. It's the enemy. It's an enemy for real.
It's a cancer. It's a slow moving cancer, man. Like, I see a lot of sisters that condemn polygyny, right? Now, this don't apply to all sisters, right? And now, as a disclaimer, I want to say there are brothers that abuse polygyny, and there are groups that teach and preach polygyny before they teach and preach refrain it from sin and you know, mental and spiritual fornication. Before they preach that, they preach, hey brother, you know you can have multiple wives. And it's the last thing that man need to be worried about. That man need a job. That man need to know how to fight lust of the flesh. That man got a whole other line of issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And well, you're right. I know that's how it starts off, you know, but it also can be applied to us as a nation. It just depends on, you know, how you see things. Just like there is a verbal way to all the scriptures, and there's also proverbial ways about the scriptures. And to me, Proverbs 31 is just something else that can be taken and applied in another context, because it says the that woman's husband is known at the gates. The Most High Yah is supposed to be known at our gates. We're supposed to bring honor and esteem to his name, just like that wife's supposed to bring honor and esteem to her husband. You know, It's the same thing. You can put it. You know what I'm saying?
So you saying you basically saying his layers?
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying basically saying his layers to it. Even though he equated that, the mother equated it to her son, but in a spiritual sense, it's a layer to it. It's like, okay, how the father is toward the people as a nation, being virtuous and capable. Now,
And real quick. I'm sorry.
You remember? No, do your thing. That's what it's about. The rock, let the rock have way. Go ahead.
It's a mother talking to her son, right?
Yep.
It could be Jerusalem talking to us,
That's
telling us how to behave.
Right. Mother Jerusalem above. That's right.
Crying out to us. Hey, listen, man, you need to get yourself together. This how you got to be. This how you got to move. You know? But yeah.
Yeah, it's layers to it, man.
Sorry about it. I just want to throw that out there.
That's awesome, man. I'll esteem y'all watch for that, man. That's really awesome, man. It's layers to it, man. You can equate, you know, because when they all go back to it, you know, we got the father, when we got the son of Mashiach, you got the man, then you got woman taking out the man, then you got the woman, then you got the children. So it's different layers. The same thing that can virtuous and capable. The men being virtuous, patience is a virtue, we know. Temperance is a virtue. Matter of fact, all the fruits of the Ruach are virtues, right? Is it not? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody, please.
Oh, that's a fact.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Fruits of the Ruach are virtues. These are virtues, you know, and that's for a man to show that, simplify that, to show that it's it's virtuous. And being virtuous like that, it also makes one capable.
Let's look up virtuous real quick. We used to do it all the time. Let's
hit that up.
Put that thing up. Share the screen. Share that screen. Definition of virtuous: having or showing high moral standards.
Come on, give me some more.
Synonyms: righteous, good, moral, morally correct, ethical, upright, upstanding, high-minded, right-minded, right-thinking, principled, exemplary, clean, law-abiding, lawful, irreproachable, blameless, guiltless, unimpeachable, just, honest, honorable, unbribable, incorruptible, anti-corruption, scrupulous, reputable, decent, respectable, noble, lofty, elevated, worthy, trustworthy, meritorious, praiseworthy, commendable, admirable, laudable, pure as the driven snow, whiter than snow, sinless, saintly, saint-like, godly, angelic, immaculate, impeccable, informal, squeaky clean, antonyms: bad and sinful. So listen, man, that's not feminine. That is not feminine. You know, that thing is something need to be sought after, man or woman.
Right, high moral standards, man.
High moral standards. Need all that. Take that. Eat that.
Yeah.
You know, it's what it's all about, man. And you know, we gotta. There are people who would hear that the Proverbs 31 should apply to us as a nation and get all in their box about it. But this just show that we got to look deeper in the meanings and have an understanding going into what a Proverbs 31 woman is. And there's so many women that wear the shirts. They get the shirts, Proverbs 31. They got it all on their Facebook, all on their timeline, but they not really going into the qualities. It sounds good to be a virtuous woman, but what is the characteristics of one?
That's it. The application thereof, right?
And that's what. Hold on, Kyle. We can pull that up too. Hold on. You want to go into the Strongs? We got the concordance. Give me a second to pull it up, though.
And while you pull it up, man, I'm a boasting Yahweh again. Barakatah for all the Leon, to all the Leon, Yahweh, Basham, Yahsham, Mashiach, man. Y'all is so awesome, man. I'm so glad that, you got people out here that slander and talk, but I'm glad that the Most High Yah is the righteous judge, and in due time, in his timing, when he decides to, he will make things be known what is what, and vindicate the one that has been wronged. To the Yah for vindication, man. All esteem to Yahweh for vindication, man. I mean that, man. When you go through, when you've been through a lot of stuff, man, and then the Most High bring you out, and He reveal the truth, and then it's nothing can be gainsayed about, or no one can say it's all esteem to Yahweh, man. It's a blessing. It's a barakah, man. It really is. To the Yah.
Hey man, I got I didn't gave my testimony on how I've been in the truth since coming out of prison, right? 2017, May 10th, 2017. And I was aware of it before, but I was on the fence like a lot of people is, 1 foot in because it sound good and all that, and kind of learning here and there, but still sleeping with all these women and selling and doing drugs and whatnot. And man, while I was gone, all my stuff got stolen and threw away, and I'm in a state where I don't have no family. All I got is exes and all this and that, right? And then the ones I wanted to ride with me when I was in prison didn't ride. And the ones that did ride, I can't really use them for home plans and whatnot, because you got people on, Section 8 and I, what I'm saying, it's crazy stuff, right? So I got out to a halfway house, and I ain't have no ID. All I had was the drawers I had bought on commissary. I didn't think I bought on commissary. It was the issue. They issue us new drawers and T-shirts and all that, right? So I think I had that, and I had some dress outs, because you can't even keep your prison clothes. They got clothes that get donated to the prison. So that's all I had when I got out of prison, man, to this halfway house. And I just remember that fact of getting out, only having my little box of all of my little canteen receipts and little paperwork from classes and all that I was in, man. And just having a mind of wanting to, quote unquote, be an Israelite and live right, and to finally be a man, because I had always lived with different women, lived up under them and with them and all that, to where I was like, man, you know what? I'm not even getting with no chick until I get myself to establish myself, right? And just to see how really I met my wife in I'm gonna say we met in late 2018. We met in late 2018 and got together early 2019. And no, to be honest, I moved in my house. I got out May 10th, 2017. I moved into my house, was on my second call by May 11th, 2018. I got out May 2017, moved into my house May 11th, 2018, man. And furnished it and everything, man. And it was just beautiful, man. And I'm like, man, I came from nothing, man. Nothing. The people at the halfway house was like, I'm the first person in 8 years that ever moved out on their own. The majority of guys either go back to prison off the rip because they can't act right, can't do right. They end up violating, going back to prison, or they move in with a woman. I'm the first one in 8 years to ever get his own place on his own accord, man. And it's all because of, you know, desiring to live in a way pleasing to the Most High Yah, man. Putting pork down, man. I was so listen. I was so zealous, man. One time I had heated up some food or something on the Shabbat because I had forgot it was the Shabbat because I was working so crazy hours, man. I'm working 16, 17-hour days to where I sleep, get up, go back to work. I'd be forgetting what the days is sometime, man. Um, man, I got up there, man, and was had heated up some food and forgot it was a Shabbat and realized it was, man. I'm spitting out food and just stuff when I came to a realization that it was wrong with something, I acted on it, man, and was just real like almost like the Essenes in a portion of of a way. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, the Most High is faithful, man. And if you do what He asks you to do, man, like He gonna baruch you, man. Like this ain't me. Having my own stuff, paying bills, having a wife, having a stay-at-home wife, having my child at home in my bedroom, all natural, came out healthy. My wife is is anemic. She could have died in childbirth. My wife's so zealous. She said, "Listen, rather than give myself over to these heathens in these hospitals and have them trying to poke and poison me and my child," she said, "I'd rather have it natural and risk dying, man." She said, "We just
man, that's dedication right there. That's look at that. And the Most High came through and delivered and honored her.
Listen, around the time she said that, the reason she said that because we couldn't get into a center, a birthing center. People didn't want to allow her in because she's anemic. They talking about, man, you could die.
Right.
So they didn't want to accept her as a liability, man.
Right.
So around that time, she said, man, listen, we just gonna figure it out. I kid you not, a little while later, man, we found a midwife 20 minutes away, man. My wife went into labor 1 o'clock in the morning. The woman was here, man, like in like an hour, man. Because, you know, it took time or whatever, get everything together. She had kids and everything. Then she got here, man, ASAP. You know, it's midwives all over the place. And a lot of them booked up, especially in the summertime, because you got to think, you know, kids born in the fall was wintertime conceptions. You got to think, these your Thanksgiving babies, your Christmas babies, and all. This time people laid up, cuddled up. This is the time that babies is made. You know what I'm talking about? So she had other clients, but the Most High seen fit, man. And then she was the kind of a midwife that was down with everything we was trying to do. She like, you want this shot? We like, what's in it? She like, you know, we like, nah. She like, okay, it was cool. So she was working with us with everything we was trying to. It was like it was all ordained, man. You know,
won't it will.
Hey,
I want to do it. Look,
I'm a believer, man.
I know it.
And I wanted to document this thing. I wanted to put it out. I want people to know, because my wife is, you know, she kind of quiet and she don't really want the esteem, man. But I tell you, that woman put her life on the line, man. She actually said, like, we just gonna figure. I'm like, man, we gonna figure it out. I don't know nothing about nothing. I know. Listen, you bleed out. I'm gonna get you a towel. I don't know what to do.
I'm gonna get you a towel. What a towel gonna do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, you know, but it was like, man, rather than give up, because listen, it was a thing of, we had seen a video that you know, women going to the hospital and not wanting to be treated with what the doctor's trying to do, and they, you know, lock the woman up, get DFS involved, try to take the baby and all that. So rather than go through all that, we was like, man, we just ain't gonna deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And she just was of that mind, man. Man, I fell in love even more with her, man. The fact that she was just like, listen, it just is what it is, man. She was like Rocky. If I die, I die. And I'm like, shit, that's gonna be rough to deal with. Like, what am I gonna do? But you know, the Most High was gracious, man. And he and him knowing what we own, how we feel, man, he made everything happen, man. We had an 8th day circumcision.
Hallelujah.
You know, it's just, Son healed up, nice and easy, man. Like, I mean, it was hard at first. He cried his little eyes out at first, but you know, he it ain't last long, man. Here we go. Here's my little man. Look at him, man. Healthy, man. Titty baby, man. Accelerating.
All right.
Accelerating out
All
here.
right.
It's accelerate. So look at me. My name is Man, and I'm big, and I'm healthy.
Look
I
at him.
don't cry like
Big
that.
old cheeks. What's your nephew? Big old cheeks. You get through eating? Did you eat? What you eat? What you eat?
He was in there talking to me.
Oh, he was talking.
Yeah, he do a little something here and there, man. Little something.
He be talking up a storm. He don't know.
Hey, what do you feel going on there? Look at all this.
Oh, I was feeding on.
Yeah, I
and
understand.
talking.
Thank you.
Don't do me.
We'll talk to you later.
Don't do my sister over there. Don't do her.
Yeah, don't do me. Where my sister?
Get somewhere and go take care of it. What did you do?
Where my sister at?
She in the room.
Tell my sister say
Why don't
hi.
you go call her? Go
Yeah.
talk.
Go on yonder.
Yeah,
Yonder way.
Whatever.
you need to go take care of that too. That's crazy.
Leave me alone. Don't do me.
No. What's up, bro? What's up, little?
Look, I'm trying to have them walking, man. I'm trying to have them walking by a year, man. Trying to have them walking. I got him in boot camp. I got him in the program. He in highly intense training.
Look up, rise and shine. Look up. Look up. There you go. Yeah. Look up.
Amen. Hey. So yeah, man. All praise to the Most High, y'all, man. And then I thought I was having a girl, man, for all intents and purposes. I don't know why. We ain't do none of that. We didn't want to know what the sex was, and we like our ancestors ain't know. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna take it how it go, man. Yeah. And real ancient, man. It was all about old school. Baby tried to tap out on me. I want drugs. About halfway through that thing.
You want to epidural?
Hey, listen. She about tapped out. I'm like, hell no, baby. Get in there now. You gotta get on up. Yeah, that pain. Gotta walk the thing out. But yeah, man, just as a message to the people, man, listen. It's testimonies out here, man, about staying the course, about being vigilant in the face of death and everything, man. It's people that stood, our ancestors stood. That's the strength that we moved off of. Things are written before time was written for our learning. Through the patience and the comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope. We had hope. And the Most High put us to shame for our hope, man. Not only that, it's action that go along with hope. My baby started eating healthy. We got all kind of bottle pills and stuff. We got all kind of pills and stuff over here, man. We out here spending money. These bottles $20 and $30 a piece. We out here buying herbs and stuff, man. Burdock ruled out. We weren't just talking about this thing. We're doing research and stuff. She's anemic.
What's that? Sarsaparilla?
We had to get a blood count up. You know what I'm saying? We did all this. Got a $200 blender. She ended up eating smoothies and veggies and all. We did all this, man. We weren't just talking about it.
Right.
That's what it takes. You can't just pray and just think. You got to do. After you pray, get up. You pray for strength to do what needs to be done.
Right, and go forth. Right.
Don't just be praying for no miraculous sign. The miraculous signs is healing the sick and all that, laying on the hands and stuff like that, man. But if it's something that can be done, first of all, you got to get to the sick person, or you got to get to the healer. You don't see Hamashiach was going around finding people to heal. You see what people found him.
Right.
Because they heard of him and they had faith. And they went and found him.
Right. They looked
Master, please help me. Please heal me.
Right.
Heal my daughter. Help me see. I like all this kind of stuff, man. People just be wanting stuff. Like this is crazy, man. Things got to be done. You got to move.
Yeah.
And you see the proof. The proof is in the pudding.
He talking about pudding.
This whole time he ain't crying. He ain't like Steph Curry daughter. Just all in the mix, being bad. Yeah.
So that it was the point I wanted to bring out too, Ak, about what you said earlier too, man. I think you were speaking about people wicked are doing certain. I forgot how you were saying, but what came to mind, I was want to speak earlier about fasting, Zoom, putting your flesh upon a subjection to rule over your members so that you can be productive, or be a virtuous, capable person, capable wife, capable man, virtuous woman, doing those things that Abba Yah deems righteous and right according to the way he said. So one has to really do that and really apply that, because you got some people that just do certain things and they really don't fully apply it. Like they'll probably go without eating and not really get themselves to praying or studying or supplicating, asking the Most High to give them that strength to deliver them from such whatever they dealing with. They just feel like, oh, I just fast from this, or I'll just go without eating this time, and just as long as I'm going without eating, or whether it be a device or something, I'm gonna put this down for a little bit. And, like, you got to really put in work, man. You got to do some things, man. You really got to do it. Yeah, you got to put work in, man. It don't just fall in your lap like that, man. You got to do it. You pray about, and that's a good point that you brought about when praying about something. When you pray about something specific, man, get up and work toward that thing and watch it happen. Watch it be. The Most High honors you in your request. Walk toward that thing. Do things that's in line with your righteous request unto the Father. You know what I mean? Get up and move on it. Like a person asking for a job, praying for a job, but they're not going to go put in no applications for no job as if it's going to knock on the door. Hey, you want to come work? Yeah. Oh, my prayers. No, you got to go work for that thing. You got to go do something. Go do something. Watch the Most High work. Crown your effort with success. Especially.
It was twofold. You remember having a conversation about me going to the men's gathering and missing his birth?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And didn't miss it.
Chewed me out about it. Chewed me out about that thing for a good 30 minutes.
Who?
How you just gonna leave the birth of your child?
You talking about sister?
Yeah.
She
chewed me up. But it
worked out.
It came from a good place.
Yeah,
but you gotta understand, this is the works, though.
Yeah.
The fact that I was willing to do it, I was willing to do it. But with a belief that the Most High Yah would know how much I wanted to be here. I wanted to be here, so not just some kind of a superficial thing about being present, but I wanted to bring the order and the protection. He heard scriptures coming out when he was born. I got to cut the cord and all this stuff is like, it's just beautiful stuff, man. And I'm glad I was there. I was able to be a part of it. Baby needed me. Listen. She said it after the fact. She didn't say it. She hated me during the birth, but after she was like, yeah. Cause me, I be on it. Get up now. Come on now. Let's go now. Let's go. Don't be sitting down now. Get on up. Let's go. Let's go. Walk. I can't. No. Let's go, baby. Come on, baby. Get up. Let's go. Let's go now. Let's go walking.
Hey, what she say? I can't.
No, baby. You got this. You got this, baby.
Yeah,
you got this, baby. And she did it too. Listen, man. Next morning, she up cleaning.
Wow.
She know about it. Next morning, up cleaning. You know why she was up cleaning? She wasn't on dope.
Right.
High on no epidural.
Right.
Was up taking care of business, man. Now listen, to all those that took the epidural and all that, I understand, but you got to understand too, there's a better way. There's a better way. Your ancestors ain't have no epidurals. They had to tough that thing out,
And it goes so many ways. That better way can be costly. It can cost you some little pain. May cost a little pain or something, but it's well worth it.
Listen, I told you listen. She said, I want some drugs. No, baby. No. Mm-mm. She tried to cop out on me. She tried to
Cop,
cop
cop
out.
out. Ain't no
No,
cop
baby.
out.
We ain't at no hospital.
Yeah.
If we had been at one, she might have. Hey, I had to raise hell. I had to slap one of them heathens in there. One of the midwives was acting like they was wanting to give in and cater to it. I was like, no. I'm like,
turn his head. I got you.
is all the signs and stuff. Is she cool? Oh yeah. She's fine. So you mean she just tripping off the pain? Oh yeah, it's a contraction. It's a contraction. The contraction is hurting her. I'm like, well, what we need to do then? Well, she needs to walk. She really needs to get up and walk. Well, she finna get her ass up then. What do you mean? So ain't nothing wrong with her. She just spazzed now cause it hurt.
Right.
Cause it hurt. How you finna get your ass up? You want to have this baby get up? Let's go. And that's when we started getting up and walking around the driveway. All praise to the Most High. We got this wrap around driveway. So, I got my handy dandy staff. Matter of fact, I had on the same shirt. And we got out there, man, and we did laps with this thing. And she was hollering and complaining about it. But hey, shortly after we started doing them laps, here we go. Young Nathan Yehuda.
There he is.
That's his name too, Nathan Yehuda. His last name ain't Lewis.
That's right.
His real name is Nathan Yehuda. 8-day circumcision, born all natural.
Hallelujah. That's what we doing. Hallelujah. I'm talking about as a nation. That's what we doing as a nation for those that's really in it. We have children. Straight back to the ancient. That's what we do. We've been there, done that. They ain't got to go through that. We the ones that it ends with us. So our generation after us, the ones that come after us, is gonna be well taken care of.
Listen, man, it's so, and the whole thing about breastfeeding and I'm gonna tell you something too, man. It's imperative that our sisters really need to have the ability. That's why I'm so on our men about stuff. You know what I'm saying? About their office and really praying to the Most High to establish them in their office, not just as a authority figure as far as instruction and force, but to make them financially stable to where they could have a stay-at-home wife to where she could be there to tend to the baby. You know what I'm saying? And like to not live in such a means where you can't have a one income household. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like watching her with him, like he needs to have his mama 24/7 around the clock.
Right.
It's been beautiful to watch and to see, man. Like I've been around titties all my life. I ain't never seen one used as expertly as it's being used to feed him.
He's not even weaned yet, bro.
She expert.
How old is the child? How old does the child to be in order to be properly weaned?
She want to breastfeed him till he like one plus. So I would imagine as soon as they get teeth, they able. Like he's eating. We now take fruits and stuff and puree them, put them in the blender and everything, and feed it to him. So he's eating, but he can't eat meat and stuff yet.
That the breastfeed. See, the Most High Yah know exactly what they're doing. If everybody keep everything natural in the right order, the way the Most High Yah has created it, it's a reason why women get milk into their breasts to feed a child. That is so much nutrients in that breast milk. It's very beneficial to the development of the child's brain. Also, it gives them the nutrients that they need where they don't be sickly. Like how some of these children that when you feed them with the Similac and this other canned stuff, they be sickly.
Spitting up all the time. He rarely spit up, bro. He only spit up when he eats and he don't get a burp. Then he spit up. But other than that, he don't spit up. On Similac, baby spit up all the time, man.
Yeah.
All the time. Big nasty spit up.
It's a reason. It's a reason. The Most High, y'all know exactly what he's doing, man. Y'all does things on purpose with everything that y'all does. Point blank, period. and take advantage, man. Let me say that. Like I take advantage, man.
Take advantage, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, it ain't easy, man. Nothing that's great is easy, man. You know, I got kind of hot with my wife, low key. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to step outside because it was like she was going through pains and everything, and I'm trying to help, and she, you know, go on, just leave this, and I'm, you know, hey,
Mikhail said depends on the culture. He said he witnessed 5-year-olds in Iraq still breastfeeding. See, when he gets 5 years old, it's like, man, hold on, son, move over, man. You're cutting into my time now, son.
It's weird. This ain't Game of Thrones. You ever seen Game of Thrones?
Nah, I ain't seen that.
When that little white boy was still breastfeeding on his mama.
Nah, I ain't seen
He was too big though. He was like 12 or 13 or something.
Oh, bro, you a whole man.
I'm like, man, hey, now. That's what I tell my wife too. I'd be like, this ain't no Game of Thrones. That's about she want to keep doing it. And she's seen Game of Thrones, so she's like, nah, it ain't like that. Well, yeah, man. But it's a powerful liquid. You know what I'm saying? Like any kind of little ailments and stuff, like say like, you know, you get like pink eye or something. Put some breast milk in it. It'll cure that thing. Like any kind of like, I forgot the different stuff, man, but different problems can arise and you can put breast milk on it and it'll cure it. You know, not cure it, but fix it. You know, can't say cure. They'll lock you up for that thing. But you know, it'll fix it, man. Breast milk, man.
Shalom, Mark, man. Mikhail said he about to bounce, man. So shalom to you, man. Great having you, man, and checking in with us, bro. Appreciate you.
Let go.
Man, what's up? What you grabbing on? What you grabbing on, nephew?
My hair, man. I can grab on my hair. We both got dreads now, so he be all on. Yeah, man. What we got on this thing? 230?
230, yeah.
230 on that thing, man. But yeah, man, see how this thing came full circle about the Essenes and about, you know, not being afraid to be zealous for the Most High Yah. We see that it pays off. We see that this devotion that these men had is how we was able to get the scriptures, because they never used to put the scriptures out to regular people. The Catholics tried to keep the scriptures to themselves. It wasn't until King James that they actually started to mass produce the scriptures. People want to talk about King James all the time. He the reason why you got a copy. The Catholics weren't going to give you no copies of their Bible. That was for the priests. That was for the, you know, the hierarchy, for the noblemen. You know, anyway, by the, you know, the zealousness of these men, the Most High dealt with them and allowed them the intuition to move ahead of time to preserve the scriptures. And they ended up coming out at the appointed time, at the proper time, to be used in the proper ways to bring edification to the people, man. So, you know, your zealous works for the Most High Yah will not be in vain. And that's the point of the thing.
You know, being zealous, you know, make sure that you comprehend fully what you're doing and play, and you know, and doing things accordingly. Being zealous, there's nothing wrong with it, as long as you know and you understand what you're doing for the Most High Yah. It's all good, man. You know. Hold on, Mom. I'm about to call you back, baby. That was my mom, my T. Jones, calling me.
All right, well, we can close it down. Man.
All right, with that being closed real quick, man, before I go, we're going to say a prayer, but I want to give a shout out to the Southern Kingdom of Pearl. My Akb right here. Nice. Man, one time. For the one time, let me get that on the back right here. You see that right there, y'all? Yeah.
Hold the hand, behold the nail.
There you go, man. There you go, man. You know, so Southern Kingdom of Pearl, man. You see the crown. You see the, you know, I understand it. Wild, man.
Yes.
That's what I got.
Dripped out. You see him. Southern
Kingdom of Pearl, man. I understand y'all why for that, man. For the most part, y'all putting that on his heart to make.
And the sun is down by the way, for all you people. You might be in one of them places where the sun is still up. Well, it's down here. It's down here.
I'm for my people. So, you know, we got a shout out to Rejoice Wine. Shout out to Southern Kingdom of Pearl.
Shout out to Mikal,
yes.
Shout out to Yahukanon, because he's the one that brought me and Brother Kafer together, put us on the line, and a lot of beautiful things has come from that meeting.
The Hebrew phone book, Brother Yahukanon, Tudaya.
We like to give credit what credit's due.
Hallelujah, that's right.
And it's all shout out to Mark Zuckerberg, you know, Facebook. I met my wife off Facebook. I met Yahukanon off Facebook. Oh, actually, I met Yahukanon in person. But it was through Facebook and the group and everything that, you know, I know he meant it for evil, right? Those of you listening, I know he meant it for evil.
You're talking about Zuckerberg.
But
right?
What the heathen means for evil, the Most High y'all could mean for righteousness. So through the Facebook platform, I met my wife, and through meeting my wife, we got fruit. We got fruit. Yeah, fruit. I said I went from your inbox to your juice box. So
no.
You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man,
I understand y'all why though.
All things work out for the honor and esteem of the Most High, yeah, man. And as always, we thank him. We thank him for his kindness and his generosity. And we hope he continue to be with us and guide us and protect us and show us the errors of our ways that we may repent, be in good standing with him and enter into his eternal Malkut. You got anything you want to say on that?
Nah, man, all is well, man. Yeah.
When we say so be it.
So be it, and it's so.
Be it. We say, you know, it's 12 tribes.
One nation.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.